thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the
Back at it here on this Monday, the 11th day of December, 2023. I am Dan Kuntz. 2 weeks from today, Christmas Day. Yeah, so if you're out and about over the next hectic few days, taking care of the last odds and ends for Christmas, if you're going to be out buying gifts, don't forget, if you find it in your heart to purchase me a Christmas present, don't forget, I have a couple of things that need to be taken into account. I like my presents big and expensive. Just want to let you know. It is cloudy. It is 34 degrees. The sun is going to be taking the week off. In fact, the weather is kind of going to be just kind of bleh. That's an official weather word. Bleh. Details are coming up, but no sunshine this week. Cloudy and foggy. Cloudy and foggy. We're used to it by now. In news, lots. In sports, a whole bunch. It's Monday. We're always good with sports. If you follow the local professional teams like the Seahawks and the Kraken, it's been a rough few weeks, hasn't it? Local collegiate teams, however, and high school teams, we're all for that. And the Wenatchee Wild had not a bad weekend. They lost Saturday. They won yesterday. Highlights of that as well. And in the back half of the program, our buddy James Pumphrey dropped by late last week. He, of course, is the guy who runs the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. He's got a great team. The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is part of the Give NCW campaign. They need a new van. They're not even going to buy a new van, but the money they raise, they're going to buy a used van because they want to be pretty conservative with their budgeting, but they need your help. James Pumphrey, always good to talk to James. He'll be here in the back half of the program. Let's do it. We got a lot to get to. Let's not waste any more time. Our cameras around the valley, starting out, of course, with the Wenatchee Heights camera. We're still over a half an hour before the sun comes up. These are the shortest days of the year now until we get to the winter solstice in about 10 days. 7:38 will be the sunrise this morning. 4:10 this afternoon, 8 hours and 32 minutes of daylight. Topped off at 32 on Saturday, 36 on Sunday. Of course, we had snow in the Wenatchee Valley. It's all but gone now with the warmer temperatures, but it feels like winter, even though it's still officially autumn. I don't know where we're going to next. I forgot to check out the cameras. Well, across the street, Wenatchee City Hall on the right, Localtel's HQ headquarters on the left, decked out in the candy cane green and red for the Christmas season, and probably will be for the foreseeable future. That's cool. I like how they can do that with the LED lights. There's like 1,000 different color combinations. We got them all up. That's right across the street at Wenatchee City Hall, camera 3. Downtown Wenatchee from the roof of the Cascadian, starting to see the sun creep over the East Wenatchee bench, but you're not going to see the sun, unfortunately, this week. Maybe a couple of passing opportunities for the sun to make it down to the Earth's surface around here, but I wouldn't bet on it. And camera 4. A beautiful view of cars driving around the area. I'm going to say maybe Cougar Ridge. Yep, okay, that's the intersection of Sunset Highway and Highway 2 heading off to Cougar Ridge. So you got off to Orondo and coming down Eastmont. So there you go. I don't know why we're looking at that camera, but there you go. Did I mention the weather is going to be kind of, there you go. We got low clouds and fog, and we have high pressure beginning to build in. There's a couple of weak little bitty systems that are going to kind of zip in and out, but they're pretty weak. Outside of that, we're going to be under the influence of high pressure, and when you have high pressure building up and strengthening, when you have clouds, there's simply no place for the clouds to go. In fact, the clouds are going to get lower and thicker as the week progresses, so just kind of typical mid-December weather. We get used to it. Weather oftentimes is a state of mind. From the National Weather Service, you'll notice you won't see any sunshine there. Cloudy, foggy, 39 today. Cloudy, foggy, 31 for the overnight low tonight. Clouds and fog on Tuesday. Snow level is going to be well above the valley floor, and so even if we do get a weak system, not going to bring us anything. Cloudy and foggy in 37, cloudy and foggy in 37, cloudy and foggy in 40, cloudy and foggy in 38. Maybe a couple of sun breaks for the second to last weekend before Christmas, 38 and 37. Our normal high this time of the year is about 34. It'll be a little bit above normal, and the overnight lows will be above normal, or normal overnight low is now 25. So there you go. If you like clouds and fog, you're going to love this week from Mother Nature. That is the forecast at 5 minutes after the hour. Next on the agenda is the news. And it's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Monday edition on the NCW Life Channel.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Check out clubprocashmere.com for upcoming events and tickets.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Lots of clouds, 33 degrees, lots of clouds, low-hanging fog, kind of gray weather right through the week with temperatures both afternoon highs and overnight lows slightly above normal. It is 7 minutes after the hour. One of the two suspects accused of murdering a Wenatchee 18-year-old while he slept faces sentencing next month. He pled guilty to first-degree murder. Javier Valdez agreed in November to plead to the killing of Yara Flores back in August of 2022, as well as a stabbing attack he carried out on a Chelan County corrections officer while he was in jail. He's scheduled to be sentenced January 4th. He faces a recommended 30-year prison term. Valdez is charged in Flores' murder alongside Marquil Leon Ford. Investigators saying the two went to Flores' home where Ford fired a handgun through a window into Flores' bedroom. Both men, by the way, remained jailed at this time. A Chelan rape suspect had his bail amount lowered last week, but he's still in jail. Lawyers for 52-year-old Darren Daniel Hunter successfully argued on Thursday that his bail should be lowered from the $5 million at the amount that was set after he was arrested back in July. But they did fail to win his release on his own recognizance. Instead, Judge Kristen Ferreira set a new bail of $750,000. That's an amount that Hunter's attorneys say he still can't pay. Hunter is a former Seattle area teacher who pled guilty last year to misdemeanor assault with sexual motivation against a woman he had dated. He's now charged with first-degree rape and kidnapping, second-degree assault, first-degree robbery, and drug violations for allegedly assaulting a woman at his Chelan home. Even if he is released from jail ahead of time, Ferreira ordered Hunter to be kept on electronic home monitoring. Wenatchee police say they've cleaned up a graffiti case in and around the Wenatchee High School campus. Wenatchee High School and several buses marked with gang tags. A 17-year-old and an 18-year-old suspect have both been arrested. They face felony charges of malicious mischief for allegedly tagging school property as well as residential areas around Wenatchee High School. The damage was first reported back on November 30th. Police say school resource officers made arrests last week after reviewing surveillance footage and working with school personnel. An East Wenatchee man quietly surrendered his concealed pistol license rather than face prosecution for allegedly displaying a gun in traffic. 77-year-old Ralph Archer was arrested in May after witnesses say he brandished a handgun in an interaction with another motorist while driving on Highway 2 near Monitor. When police pulled him over east of the Onabashian Bridge, according to court records, he told them, and I'm quoting now, "I flipped the bird back to him with the gun in my hand. Sorry about that," end quote. Now, the offense is a gross misdemeanor charge, but Archer reached an agreement in Chelan County District Court not to go to trial. In exchange for that, he turns over his concealed pistol license, and he has to pay $150 in court costs. He also must not commit any crimes over the next year. Chelan County Natural Resources is searching for volunteers to serve on a committee to update its hazard mitigation and community wildfire protection plans. Both plans help identify natural hazards and the risks that they pose to Chelan County. They are required to be updated every 5 years so that partnering organizations can remain eligible for grant funding and stay on top of natural threats to community safety. If you're interested in joining the committee, you can contact Lisa Dowling with the Chelan County Natural Resources Department. She is a specialist there. And if you don't mind us indulging in a little shop talk, Jefferson Robbins, our news director, worked from home on Friday because right now we don't have any running water in the building. It's a long story, but they're working on it. So no running water means that everybody's had to consume bottled water in order to stay hydrated. It's important. So that led to a debate between our very own reporter, Casey Stafford, and M. Tucker Wagner, who's one of our producers around here. The debate, which bottled water tastes best? And again, if Jefferson was working in the office on Friday, this probably wouldn't have happened, but I don't know. Enjoy.
I don't like this one.
Okay, well, I noticed one thing right off the bat. Some of these are cold.
Yeah, some of these are and some of them are not.
Try this one again.
Oh, wait, I need to change mine. This is this. All of these were mixed out of order, so I don't even know if yours are in the same place as mine.
That one, definitely that.
I'll try my third one.
This one.
Oh, this one's good. I think this one is Dasani. I'm gonna try my last one. This one's good. I think this is the Fiji. It's Fiji, not Fuji.
No, it's not.
It's Fiji.
No, it's Fuji.
It's Fiji water.
No.
Malcolm, can you look at the list and tell us if it's
Malcolm,
Fiji or Fuji?
Pull it up, Malcolm.
It's Fiji. Now if I get these wrong, at least I got something right.
I'm Googling it. I don't trust Malcolm either.
Okay.
Oh, it's Fujifilm. They make camera stuff. That's why I'm confused, because I work with cameras all day.
Malcolm, what is number one?
Dasani. Boom.
Shoot, I put
Boom.
refresh.
Look at that. There we go. Dasani.
This is my wrong pile. Shoot, that means
Tastes
that
like
the one
bleach.
I put Dasani on is wrong.
All right, what's next?
Number two. Oh, which is what I said was Dasani, which we now know is wrong.
Number two. Refresh.
No.
Boom. Number three?
Three, I put Fiji.
Three is Fuji.
No. We're both
Cap.
wrong? No. Three is Essentia? I said this one tasted the best.
I knew. Okay, first of all, Essentia does taste the best.
Apparently.
But also, I thought it was Fuji. So
I didn't get a single one right.
you were feeling pretty confident though, which is funny because you said you like to you
whole thing
keep
was
the
my
standards
idea.
low and tell the result.
Well, I guess it's good I start my standards low in the beginning.
No, this one, this is number 4 is definitely Essentia. And the reason I know is because it feels smooth
He just said 4 is Fiji.
on the lips. He's wrong though. It feels smooth on the lips.
Who said that about water?
It feels different. Essentia feels different than all the rest.
4 was Fiji.
Yeah, that's what he says, but I think you mixed them around.
I didn't mix mine. I
so
had
that
it written on.
Just to try to annoy me.
I had to think about salting your water in 1 cup just to get a good reaction. I like the Essentia actually.
Uh-huh. Except it's Fiji. Or also known as Fuji. I can guess crappy water though, I guess.
I still wish we could have thrown tap water in the mix, but we have no water.
That's 3 minutes and 41 seconds of my life I'll never be able to get back. Jefferson, please, please, on behalf of the entire staff, come into work today. I can't handle that. That's the news at 16 minutes after the hour. The news will come your way tonight on a nice little half-hour package we call the Evening News. With Grant and Eric at 5, 6, and 10 on television, 5, 6, and 10 on television. If that doesn't work for you, you can watch it via the World Wide Web. We'll have our news up and running on our homepage, our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and our app. And shoot us an email for something out there that you think warrants our attention. news@ncwlife.com. Sports is next. You're watching, I hope you're still watching, a Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Experience the magic of Washington's Winter Wonderland, where flames and frost unite. Join us for intricate ice sculptures, 2 spectacular fireworks shows, drinks at the infamous ice bar, live music, a snow slide, polar bear plunge, beach bonfire, and so much more. Did we mention a wine walk and bubble brunch? We've got it all. Purchase your tickets today at LakeChelanWinterfest.com.
17 minutes after the hour, for the first time since Pete Carroll took over the Seahawks as head coach in 2010, the Seahawks have lost 4 games in a row. The Niners used one big play after another, including a 72-yard run in the very first play of the game, and that set the tone. Seahawks lose 28-16. 49ers finished with 547 yards of total offense, gashing Seattle's defense 11 times on plays of 20 yards or more. Coach Pete Carroll says, well, we knew what they were going to do. We still couldn't stop them.
We came in here buckled up, ready to go, play these guys, and we just got big played by their guys on offense too many times to win the game today. There was just a bunch of explosive plays, doing the things that they do. There's nothing new, nothing. There's just stuff that they did. They executed really well. Made some great throws when the guys were open down the field. Pretty did a nice job of that. But just too many explosive plays to hold these guys in check enough. And got to give them a lot of credit. They're a good club. And had we done those things, it would have been a much tighter football game than we had a chance, because we were able to score. We were able to move the ball a little bit. I thought Drew did an excellent job in this game. I mean, as you can expect going into a game like this, you're going to come out after, you're going to say there's 3 or 4 plays or 2 or 3 plays that you wish wouldn't happen the way they did, and you just hope that they didn't beat you in the game. And but he did a lot of cool stuff, and came through for us to give us a chance.
Drew Lock, of course, got the start in place of Geno Smith, and as Pete Carroll said, played pretty good actually. He completed 22 of 31, 269 yards, a couple of touchdowns, a couple of interceptions. DK Metcalf, he got ejected from the game for fighting. Seattle will host Philadelphia 1 week from tonight on Monday Night Football. The standings, needless to say, the Niners have a rather commanding lead now. They're 10-3. The Rams fell in overtime to Baltimore. They're 6-7, along with the Seahawks. LA, by the way, holds the tiebreaker with the Seahawks because they swept Seattle this season. Arizona is 3-10, didn't play last weekend. The Gonzaga and Eastern women posted college basketball victories Saturday. Washington upsetting the Cougars yesterday. The 23rd rated Lady Bulldogs beat Rice on Saturday, and Eastern Washington had no trouble with Walla Walla. And on Sunday, Washington jumps out to a 10-2 lead. After the first quarter, they beat the Cougars in Pullman 60-55. Wazoo tried coming back, but it wasn't quite enough.
The Cougars on the season, 47% from the field right now. They're shooting 22% on the game.
Ledger Walker into the lane, count it.
So the Cougs extending their pressure. Steins, the ball handler, gets it ripped from Estera Tahina and gets it to Bella Murikatete, the big running the floor. And Briggs does. And now Caves all the way to the hoop. Chloe Briggs. They're going to check. 6 points is just 2 possessions and plenty of time. Steins deep three. Oh my, that was clutch by Steins. Into the lane, Noble flips it up, no good. Down by 7 and the ball. Murikatete running again and 1. Lets it go. Short, and that will do it. The Huskies getting a win in Pullman for the first time since 2009.
By the way, the Huskies undefeated. They're 10-0. On the men's side on Saturday, Eastern Washington traveled to Colorado Springs, beat Air Force. Washington upset Gonzaga on Saturday, 78-73. Washington State unbeaten at home. They beat Grambling 83-65. The Kraken's losing streak is now 8 in a row, 2 losses over the weekend. On Saturday, Seattle pushed Tampa Bay to overtime, but they fell in the end. The final there was 4-3. Oliver Borkstrand, Jamie Olisiak, and Jared McCann all scored for Seattle. They tried to push through weary legs on Sunday with the Minnesota Wild in town. Didn't score. 3-0 there. Kraken players and coach Dave Haxtell say they've got to keep believing that they can get off the schneid.
Maybe a little bit of everything. I think we just need to be a few more percentages better in each area. I think that could help us. Definitely, you can't lose confidence. You got to keep going. So, yeah, it's a grind right now. We got to find a way to get out of it, and just small steps.
Well, we weren't able to capitalize on some outstanding opportunities on the power play. Each one of the power plays we had some great opportunities. It felt like that kind of a night against that team defends really well 5-on-5. So the opportunities 5-on-5 are hard to come by. We generated a few, but our best opportunities were on the power play, and we had a number of them. A couple going right through the crease that didn't find the back of the net. So you find yourself down by 150+ minutes into the game and not able to get one.
Kraken are, by the way, back home tomorrow night. They got Florida in town. That'll be on Root Sports Northwest. The Wenatchee Wild's 8-game winning streak came to an end over the weekend in Kennewick. The Tri-City Americans launched an onslaught on Saturday. Jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the first period. They had 5 more goals in the second. The final there was 9-2. But Sunday, another story. Now, the Wild did fall behind against Spokane on Sunday, but then they scored 3 unanswered goals in the third period, and they beat the Chiefs 4-3. 4 different Wenatchee Wild players scored on Sunday. Here are your highlights.
Mays into the right corner. Now Friesen out front. Quick shot and a save made by Michael. Sherbina a shot and he scores. Sherbina denied the first time, but then on the second attempt, got it back and slipped it through Michaelak. And now here comes Moore with it. Moore out front, shoots and scores. Turnover by the Chiefs at center ice, and Wenatchee turned it up ice. And Moore muscled his way to the net, and it's now a 3-2 game. The Wild, and here they come on the run. He's a guy with a shot blocked by Bonnie. Puck loose out front, and a score. It's now tied as Cooper following the play as the Chiefs didn't get numbers back. And just like that, it's a tie game as Cooper will get his 9th of the year. Free, here comes Cooper, throws it out front for Wood, comes back to Cooper, to the point to Sword. Right side, Isagai. Left side shot and score as Wood teed it up. No one on him, and it's 4-3 Wenatchee. Seconds running down, Puckson out front, goes wide, and the Chiefs, this is their toughest loss of the year. just looking at the body language, sticks being slammed, frustration is palpable up here. As Wenatchee, with a 3-goal third period, rally for their third straight win over Spokane this year by a final score of 4-3.
Next up for the Wild, they'll be in Portland on Wednesday, and then they're home, by the way, this weekend. Lots of high school basketball over the weekend, so to the Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard we go. From boys on Friday, West Valley beat Wenatchee, Moses Lake topped Ellensburg, Chelan clobbered Cascade, Omak over DeSales, Cashmere got by LaSalle. Also on Friday, Lake Roseville over Hoquiam, Tenasket topped Waterville Mansfield, Riverside Christian beat Soap Lake, and Elmira Cooley Heartline crushed Antioch 75-19. In girls basketball Friday, West Valley over Wenatchee, Ellensburg handled Moses Lake, Chelan clocked Cascade, Tenasket edged Waterville Mansfield, Soap Lake got by Riverside Christian, Elmira Cooley Heartline no trouble with Antioch, winning 63-20. Turning to Saturday in boys play, they didn't make it over Stevens Pass to Lake Stevens, so neither the Eastmont boys or girls played. Cheney dismantled Wenatchee, huge victory there. Davis decked Moses Lake, Quincy quieted Lakeside. Omak handled Hoquiam, and Chelan edged Royal. Also on the Saturday scoreboard, Lake Roosevelt beat DeSales, Inchilium topped Waterville Mansfield, Bridgeport beat Antioch, Brewster lulled Liberty Bell. Girls play Saturday again. Eastmont Lake Stevens never got going. Wenatchee earned its first win. They beat Cheney 37-30. Davis beat Moses Lake. Lakeside out of 9 Mile Falls down Quincy, and Chelan edged Royal. And Waterville Mansfield picked up a 59-41 win on Saturday. Antioch beat Bridgeport, and Brewster handled Liberty Bell. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday, the 11th day of December. You are free to celebrate today, if you were so inclined, International Mountain Day. If you live in Madagascar, it is Republic Day. It is Green Monday. It's National Have a Bagel Day. But today we're talking about the app. Today is National App Day, and I have fun facts about apps. People who own tablets, as opposed to little smartphones, will pay more for apps than people who use it on their phone as opposed to a tablet. So tablet users, you're paying more money. Why, I don't know. Approximately 90% of the time that you spend on this thing right here, you're using an app. If you really like apps, go with Android over the iPhone, because the Android has about 1.5 times more apps available than the iPhone. There are about 10 million apps out there, 10 million. But on average, you're only going to use about 10 a day. In fact, now is a good time to go through and take a look at all those apps that you downloaded and you never use. 86 of them. It's not a bad idea. 27 minutes. After the hour today in history, we always do states when they join the Union. We throw up the state flag and you have to guess which state it is. Think you got that one? Indiana joined the Union as the 19th state on December 11th, 1816. That makes Indiana 207 years old today. The state motto, the Crossroads of America. Fair enough for me. From 1880 to 1924, every presidential election except one had somebody from Indiana on the presidential ticket. That's impressive. Indiana was the first state to implement a state-funded public school system. They were the first, and they're good at it. 90% of all the children who go to school in Indiana go to public schools. That's the highest ratio in the nation. They also have the highest graduation rates as well, so they know what they're doing there. The people of Indiana call themselves Hoosiers. Nobody really knows what a Hoosier is. Nobody knows. And the state flag that you see does not date back to 207 years ago when Indiana became a state. They didn't even bother to get around to doing a state flag until their centennial. They were 100 years old when they looked around and said, we should probably have a state flag, and so they got that one. As state flags go, it's actually not bad. And the best fact ever about Indiana, my fraternal grandfather, my dad's dad, was born in Santa Claus, Indiana. There's a claim to fame for you. Happy birthday, Indiana. A friendly reminder that King Charles would not be king if his great uncle quit the job. This is the anniversary of Edward VIII's abdication. As king of the United Kingdom, he had fallen in love with an American, twice divorced an American, as a matter of fact. Wallis Simpson wanted to marry her. Well, you can't do that in Great Britain. Ain't gonna happen. The choice was either you dump Wallis Simpson and stay the king, or you quit being the king and you marry Wallis Simpson. He said, I'm out of here. Edward VIII abdicated the throne. He hadn't been there very long anyway. His younger brother, Albert, got the job. He changed his name to George. When you're the king, you can do that. He became King George VI. Albert did, and of course, Albert's oldest daughter became Queen Elizabeth II, and then her oldest son, Charles, is now the king. Probably a good thing altogether that Edward VIII abdicated. He was a notorious playboy. He was 40 years old, still hadn't had any kids, and he probably admired Adolf Hitler. So Edward VIII, I'm gone, I'm out of here, I'm going to get married. By the way, they did get married, and they lived happily ever after. There is that. That was 87 years ago today. 82 years ago today, FDR had a problem. It was the Imperial Japanese that attacked the United States on Sunday, December 7th. It wasn't Nazi Germany. It wasn't fascist Italy. It was the Japanese, the Imperial Japanese. But everybody knew, including FDR and his military advisors, that the real threat was Adolf Hitler in Nazi Germany. What are we going to do? They didn't attack us. Japan did. Well, Nazi Germany and fascist Italy made it easy for FDR on this date. They declared war on the United States, so FDR didn't have to worry about that. He just turned around and declared war against Germany and Italy. Whew. Thank you very much. That was 82 years ago today. If you've ever seen the movie Goodfellas, you know the main plot point is the great robbery at JFK International Airport. It happened, the actual robbery on this date, back in 1978. 8 members of the Lucchese crime family steals almost $8 million in cash and jewelry from the Lufthansa cargo hold at JFK Airport in New York City. At the time, it was the largest cash robbery in American history. It's about $30 million in today's money. The mastermind of the plot, Jimmy Burke, was never charged because Jimmy Burke either personally killed or ordered killed 9 people who either took part in the robbery or knew of it. He just killed them all. And the money, by the way, was never recovered. Still out there somewhere. And 42 years ago today, it was all over for Muhammad Ali. He was 39 years old. It was his 61st and final professional fight. It had to take place in the Bahamas because none of the boxing commissions in the United States would grant Muhammad Ali a license. They were trying to send the message, Muhammad, it's over. They wouldn't give him a license to box in any state, so they had to take place in the Bahamas. Trevor Berbick won a unanimous decision over Muhammad Ali, and the fight itself almost never took place. The promoters almost ran out of money. It was a last-second deal. The fight was almost called off like an hour before it took place for Muhammad Ali, his 61st and final professional fight. It was all over. And finally, birthdays. Considered by many the greatest mayor ever. Fiorello LaGuardia, the mayor of New York City from 1934 to 1945, served 3 terms. He was only 5'10" tall. Many people consider him the original Rhino. Republican in name only. He was a Republican, but for all practical purposes, he ran his administration and his city like a Democrat. He got along great with FDR, and FDR kept funneling federal money to New York City. Historians rank him as the greatest mayor in American history, but the job probably killed him. He died at the age of 64 in 1947. Fiorello H. LaGuardia. The story of Walter Knott's a fascinating one. Walter Knott and his wife bought a small little farm about 30 miles south of LA. They weren't doing very good, Walt Knott and his family, until he realized they had some berry plants that had left over. He wasn't actually growing them or tending them, but they were there. And so he took the blackberry, the red raspberry, and the loganberry, and he bred them all together to create a new kind of berry, a big, juicy, flavorful berry. And they couldn't keep them in stock. People loved them. They drove down all over Southern California to go see Walter Knott and his raspberries. And so his wife started to make chicken dinners, fried chicken dinners, which were also so popular that people would be lined up for hours outside of his farm just to get one of his wife's chicken dinners. He said, well, if they're going to wait for 2 hours, why don't we amuse them? So he built an amusement park. We know it now as Knott's Berry Farm. What a great American success story, by the way. Walter Knott sold Knott's Berry's farm for $300 million not long ago. He was born in the state in 1889. And Rita Moreno, one of only 15 people to accomplish what they call the EGOT. She's won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony, all of them in competitive categories. She was only the third person to ever do that. And she is one of only 3 people to win the Acting Grand Slam. She won an Acting Tony, an Oscar, and a Grammy, all in the acting category. She's 92 years old today. Special thanks to Alpine Air for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. They are platinum sponsors of not only the NCW Life Channel and this award-winning program, but they're also good people too. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Mike Magnati's got an opinion right around the corner, and then James Pumphrey from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society dropped by. He's got some pretty exciting news, and you can help out too. James will be my guest when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel. If you love good food and drink, you don't have to look all over for the food truck anymore. You can go directly to Mama Tina's new location at Riverside 9 Apartments. Top-rated pizza, sandwiches, and calzones in a full bar make Mama Tina's your new destination restaurant.
Now, am I looking into this camera? Or am I looking, where am I looking?
We're gonna have you just look.
The holiday season is coming, and Santa's making his 15-second commercial for NCW Life Channel. Are you?
Enjoy some Christmas cheer at Chelan Ridge Winery. Whether you sit by the fireplace inside or prefer the all-new heated deck outside, you will truly enjoy an amazing view and that down-home hospitality the Ridge is famous for. Christmas at the Ridge is always a special occasion.
The River House Cigar Bar is one of the few smoke-free cigar bars in Washington. With 36 custom craft cocktails, draft beer, wine, and a full menu, the River House has it all in a recently remodeled smoke-free lounge. Check it out just off Riverside Drive in Wenatchee.
In today's environment, risk management assessment is a crucial process for your business. Risk assessment will identify, evaluate, and mitigate hazards. Don't let risk impact your business income, reputation, operations, and your overall success. We can give you peace of mind by transferring your business risks to the insurance providers. Call Stacy at August Edge Insurance today to schedule a risk management assessment for your business.
Snow piles up quickly. Remove it just as quickly with Kubota compact and utility tractors. Rated #1 in durability and owner experience, they're built to take on winter with front and rear mount snow blowers, blades, and rotary sweepers. Get select Kubota tractors for 0 down, 2.99% APR for up to 84 months, plus save up to $800 on qualifying snow attachments. See your local Kubota dealer today.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, Bruce Springsteen is a Jersey boy, and that's pretty cool. But his song, Glory Days, always kind of bothered me. I always thought it was depressing, particularly the line, well, time slips away and leaves you with nothing, mister, but boring stories to tell of. Now, this is my goal. You know, I never want my glory days to be behind me. I always want them to be something ahead. No matter how old we get, I think we ought to need to keep stretching ourselves, keep trying to top the good stuff of our past. Glory days? Maybe sometime tomorrow. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Wenatchee!
Where you at?
From the heavens!
Where you at?
Woo!
Where you at?
Where you at? WWE Super Show is where it's at.
Where you at?
Live in Wenatchee, January 7th. Tickets and Superstar Experience packages available now.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs. Badger Mountain Brewery is your cure for boredom. Jam Night Mondays. Trivia Wednesdays. Live Music Fridays. And Sunday Brunch. There's always something brewing at Badger Mountain, so come join the party.
Welcome back to the program. The Give NCW campaign, spearheaded, of course, by the Community Foundation North Central Washington, is well underway. 81 nonprofits involved this year, and all 81 nonprofits do great work. They all demand a little TLC this time of the year, and really year-round, with your money and your support. So I really don't like singling out any one nonprofit, but I'm going to do it right now because it's my show, and I can single out a nonprofit, and I'm talking about the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And our good buddy, James Pumphrey, the guy who runs the joint, is back. How are you?
Doing well.
Give me a quick update from, don't think I've seen you since summertime, maybe?
Yeah, I think summertime was about it. Yeah.
How are things going down there, as we affectionately like to call it, animal jail, for lack of a better term?
Well, we are looking to find a number of animals homes for the holidays. So that's we're full steam ahead with our holiday campaign for holiday giving, along with the Give NCW. Our ask this year for Give NCW is to help us have a 4-season van. Our life-saving shelter actually transfers in dogs and puppies from underserved rural communities in Washington State, where their adoption potential is much lower, and they're able to come into our...
It's the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, but you're taking in animals from Okanagan County.
Okanagan County, right, yeah. Other areas where they don't have a shelter. So there really is limitations in terms of what adoption opportunities exist. So we're really grateful for our partners in Okanagan that save animals' lives, and then we're able to then bring them to our Humane Society.
And you have a 13-year-old van that actually goes up and gets them and brings them to your facility,
correct.
And it's 13 years old, and it's probably got who knows how many 100,000 miles on it.
It's a old school cargo van that was never really set up for snow and ice, and so we're hoping something that will be a little bit more 4 seasons and insulated and 4-wheel drive, so really safe vehicle, so we can transfer literally hundreds of puppies and dogs. And
it's probably better for the animals too, because it's stressful. I mean, when the animals are being put in the back of a van, a cold, dark, hard van, and being driven 100 miles.
3-4 hours.
I mean, that can't be good for the animals.
Yeah. We and a new van will allow us to do that more frequently, and then it will also allow us to do that in a stress-free way.
Has this been an acute problem for a while, this van? I mean, it's...
For the past 2 years, we've been looking at knowing that we needed to replace it, so...
and you're not going to buy a Bentley or a Rolls-Royce when you get the money.
We're looking for a gently used Sprinter van that can be modified for this use, so we're not even looking for a new van, we're looking for a gently used van.
And people can donate directly to the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society by going to the Community Foundation North Central Washington's website. You'll see the Give NCW campaign. You can give to all of the nonprofits, all 81, by pushing one button, or just scroll down until you find the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society logo. You click on that, you can donate directly to the Humane Society.
They can, they can go to givencw.org, or they can go to wenatcheehumane.org. It's right on our landing page to donate either to the Give NCW campaign, or what some people may not know is that nonprofits receive about 50% of our funding during the holiday season. So we are encouraging our community to donate now and donate to the Humane Society's life-saving shelter.
And even if you don't do Facebook, and I know people who don't, you should check out their Facebook page, because every day you're posting happy animals with their new forever homes and their owners, and everybody seems to be smiling and happy. I love that.
Yes.
It's almost, even on Sundays. Here's today's adoptions with the people getting their photos taken. It's really cool.
Yeah, we are really jazzed up about finding homes for animals for the holidays. We have a number of really awesome dogs that have been with us for a period of time, and we're hoping that they will have a Christmas with their family.
There is, in the news lately, you've all heard about that, our very own Casey Stafford did a story on this with a local veterinarian, this mysterious respiratory thing that people can't seem to wrap their head around with with dogs. First of all, you've seen no indication of that in your facility, even though you do have a lot of dogs.
Correct.
Nothing's going on right now, right?
Nothing's going on, and so that in terms of shelters, we have not had reports of shelters seeing this illness. That's not to say that we shouldn't be vigilant and cautious of it. Thankfully, we partner with a number of shelter medicine programs at University of Wisconsin, the University of Florida, and UC Davis, who give us advice when we're looking at types of infectious disease like this.
So just to recap, for when an animal comes in to the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, it's one of two scenarios. Number one, I'm sorry, but we have to turn the dog in. We're moving, or my landlord won't let us have pets, or any number of reasons. And so the dog has a name, you have a medical history, you have a certain personality trait. That's one thing. And the other thing is just the stray dog.
Correct.
And that's a whole nother challenge. Talk about the process when just a stray dog or cat ends up in your facility from the time they walk in the door until they're ready to be adopted for a new home. Walk me through that so the people who are uninitiated know.
So just like a hospital, the first thing we do is we give them an exam. So they get a head-to-toe exam, or head-to-tail exam is what we call it. They get vaccinated. So every animal, before they're even placed in their housing unit, they're vaccinated and dewormed to set them up for success. If there's any red flags at all, then we make sure that we're addressing those issues. We do have isolation units set up, so if there is an infectious disease, we're able to effectively isolate them. But really, our recommendation right now is speak to your veterinarian, make sure your dog is up to date with their vaccines, and then be cautious of large groups of dogs that you don't know their healthcare status, about having your dog interact with those animals for this period of time. Thankfully, we have not had reports in this specific area of dogs with that illness, and at this point we don't know if it's a new illness or it's a more virulent strain of what we commonly known as kennel cough.
And then probably the final most important thing, they kind of figured out the dog's personality. Does it work good with cats? Does it work good with other dogs? Does it need to be the only pet? Is it good with children? That's a skill in and of itself. That takes a lot of training and a lot of organization, doesn't it?
Yeah, our team does play groups, and that is a really great area to find out how are they going to do with different groups of dogs, but also different groups of people, because we're interacting with them during those play groups. We're finding out what's their play style with other dogs. Some dogs, they'll just run all over another dog, and then others are a little bit more cautious when they are first approaching it. And that's really good information in terms of who's going to be the most likely friends to these dogs in our care. And especially, being able to match those appropriately with new families is really important to us.
And that's really the key, because they want the dog to be adopted by a family, and then that's it. This or cat, this is the forever home, and so putting the right animal, be a dog or cat, with the right family is unbelievably critical. Probably the most important aspect of it all, isn't it?
It's really important to us. We want to make sure that we're making lifelong matches. That doesn't always happen, but that certainly is the ultimate goal.
And sometimes they say no. They come in and they say, "Boy, this is a perfect dog. We really want it because it's so cute." But your staff say, our experience tells us this might not be a good fit.
Yeah, he might need to be a single dog. It doesn't happen that often. We always are trying to figure out, and most people are looking for a good match for their family too. So usually it's a conversation or recommendation.
A friendly reminder, in the city of Wenatchee, I can't speak for other jurisdictions, in the city of Wenatchee, you got to license your animal, and that's something that you have to do on an annual basis. We should probably plant that seed while we have you here, right?
Yes, licensing is really important. One, it identifies that your animal's been rabies vaccinated, which is really important. And then it also allows us to, if your dog were to happen to get out, we will take the dog right to your house if you're home and available. The dog never has to come to the shelter. We can return that dog directly to you. So it indicates community vaccination, and then it also indicates how to return your animal to you.
Can the holidays be stressful for dogs? I mean, you know, there's more activity, there's more excitement. There's all of a sudden there's a tree in the house and there wasn't one before.
Yeah.
Is that in your experience? Can that be a
change is hard for animals,
Sure.
and there's ways for us to help mitigate that. A stuffed frozen Kong is really helpful. So a stressful event tied with a peanut butter Kong suddenly makes it better, right? Those are good ways to be thoughtful about that. Also know your dog's personality. If it's a little more wary of strangers, maybe put them in a back bedroom with a radio on, or you know, use your Alexa to have white noise while your dog's in just adjusting to visitors over the holiday.
And it's something I'm probably not going to see for a while. We need to mention this because fireworks, you know, around New Year's happens. It happens whether it's legal or not. Around the New Year holiday, fireworks are being shot off all over the area. We all know what that does to dogs. Almost every dog that I know of just doesn't like it.
Yeah, it can be really stressful for dogs in general, and knowing your dog, and if they do have an aversion to loud noises, setting them up again, getting them a frozen Kong, getting them into a quiet place, putting on that white noise, or if your dog really does have a high degree of fear around loud noises, you might talk to your veterinarian about medication that can be utilized.
It's not a bad idea at all. Again, we're really talking, the reason that we brought James in is they really need this new van. I mean, they need this new van. And if you donate directly to the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society via their website or through Give NCW, that's going to go towards getting this new van. But there's always needs at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society outside of the new van. There's some other stuff you want to talk about, then we'll get into Santa Paws. I mean, there's food. You can always use food and that kind of stuff.
Food, and one of the best ways to help us is monthly donations. Even $5, $10, sign up to be a monthly donor. That allows us to know how many animals we can help in the coming year, how much support that we have to pay for things like vaccines and deworming, and it will allow us to save more animals' lives. Will allow us to bring in more animals that have no other options.
As the valley continues to grow, it ain't getting smaller. It continues to grow. Do you see the same ratio of growth in the valley to growth in animals and animals in your shelter? Is it about the same as the ratio as we go further and farther?
Yeah, thankfully, because of a lot of proactive programs like spay, neutering, vaccination, our intake levels aren't increasing, but we are seeing that in close vicinity. We're seeing places like Okanagan being impacted in Grant County and in Adams County. So there are other areas. Nationally, the trend certainly is an increase in intake nationally for dogs. We have yet to see that here, but we are seeing that nationally, about 7 to 10%, depending on the community.
So there's always an animal at the shelter that needs a home, and it could be yours for that matter. Santa Paws, talk about the 16th.
Yeah, December 16th, it's going to be a fun walk run, or you can just come to observe. Different people are going to have teams that they create to help fundraise for the Humane Society, bringing their dogs along. We have people bringing pugs in a wheelbarrow and different fun things. So we're going to have prizes: best costume, best team name, most money raised. So it's just going to be a fun, lighthearted, hopefully annual event that we can come out, have some exercise, and then end with a breakfast pizza at Wenatchee Valley Brewing, and hopefully some beers together after we run 5 or 12 2K. So.
And how people get involved in this? How do they sign up?
They can sign up right on our website, WenatcheeHumane.org. It's right on our landing page. So they just have to scroll down to the bottom, and they can sign up, join a team, or create their own team, and then encourage their friends and family to donate to the Humane Society, and also just come out and have a good time. If you don't feel like running, come and observe, and then join us for a few brews at Wenatchee Valley Brewing.
And finally, let's do a shout out to James as the executive director, is kind of the face of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And for a lot of people, Coralie, because she handles the Paws for Pets segments here on the NCW Life channel, people are familiar with her. You guys got a great staff.
We do.
And they work behind the scenes, and they need some love. They need some holiday love from you folks. So little something from James, just to let people know that it's not just James, it's a bunch of good people doing the job.
Yes, we have a really robust team of animal welfare professionals. It really does take a whole core group. We have, from our humane officers to our animal care staff to our adoption staff to our vet clinic staff, really is a robust team. Our animals are in play groups most of the day. They get 6 times of enrichment to keep them stimulated. And dogs that are fearful that come into our care, they get behavior experts working with them. It really takes a large group of experts and volunteers and fosters to keep the wheels running.
And it can be a stressful job, and it can be a difficult job. Yeah, I've talked to a few people, and they say you wouldn't believe some of the things that we have to see and go through every day, and yet every day they come back to work determined to make it a good day, even though some days just really aren't that good for some of you folks.
They do, yeah. Just like human services on the animal side, we see animal and human suffering, and that can take a toll. And it's really important for us to recognize our wins and celebrate those wins, and focus on the bright spots and focus on those. Homes for the holidays. Those are things that energize us and move us forward.
Again, go to the Community Foundation North Central Washington's website. You'll see the Give NCW campaign. You can directly donate to the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society so they can get their van. And they're not going to buy a new van. They just need a functional van so they can do what they do. And I think we covered it all, didn't we? Did we get everything?
I think so, yeah.
All right. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, and keep up the good work. And anytime you want to come see me, James, you know where to find me. All right. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we'll be right back.
At Kennedy Group, we understand that buying and selling is more than a transaction, and it's more than just a house. This is where you will gather with friends and family, and where a lifetime of memories will be made. But buying a home is more than memories. Oftentimes, it's your biggest financial decision. The agents at Kennedy Group understand this and provide real estate advice based on your goals and dreams. Call us today, and let's find your happy place.
Get your favorite beverage and a wide variety of food choices all under one big roof at the Tap Room in Pybus. The Tap Room has the most popular choices for lunch and dinner in the Valley. With unique appetizers, salads, sandwiches, and tasty rice bowls, everybody will find a new favorite dish. Plus many craft beers from Hellbent Brewing, or you can choose wine, cider, or a delightful craft cocktail. Experience the family-friendly Tap Room at Pybus for yourself. It's just what you've been looking for. All right, sun's been up for about 20 minutes, but you're not going to see the sun for pretty much this whole darn week. We are under the influence of a ridge of high pressure, and it is built up while we have clouds and fog prevalent. In fact, the clouds and the fog are going to be thickening up. As a matter of fact, dense clouds, dense fog throughout the course of the week. It is the scenario that happens when you already have the clouds prevalent and then the high pressure builds in. No place for the clouds to go. Here's a quick little reminder from the National Weather Service. It's going to be, in their words, a gloomy weather. Cloudy and not very little temperature variation. Temperature is going to be above normal, but there's no real precipitation, at least here in the Wenatchee Valley. Maybe some light mountain snow coming up this weekend in the mountain passes, which is fine by then because they could use the break. They got a lot of snow with that last system that came through over the weekend. So everybody's going to be pretty much high and dry, but you're just not going to see any sunshine. Maybe a few sun breaks on Saturday or Sunday, but we're talking partly sunny skies. And again, the temperatures are going to be a little bit above normal. From the National Weather Service, just makes it pretty easy. Cloudy and foggy, and a high of 39. Tonight, cloudy and foggy, and a low of 31. Tomorrow, cloudy and foggy, and a high of 37. Tuesday night, overnight into Wednesday, cloudy and foggy, and a low of 34. Now, Wednesday, cloudy and foggy. And a high of 37, cloudy and foggy Wednesday night, and a high of 32. I'm detecting a pattern here. Thursday, cloudy and foggy, and a high of 40. And cloudy and foggy, and 30 for the... There you go. Grant's going to have nothing to do today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life that feels good. Because after all, that's what we want. We want to feel good. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. Today on the show, we'll be visiting with entrepreneur Hector Laurel of Terminal Ave Media. I had the opportunity to meet Hector recently as he was filming a video podcast on which I was a guest. And after he finished editing the show, he sent me some